Well, alrighty, so this Blue Origin space story still isn't going away just yet because they're still getting a ton of backlash and things have been happening since Gayle King, Katy Perry, amongst other women, decided to do that space travel. They've been receiving a ton of backlash. I mean, Joe Rogan has poked fun at them and people from the left have poked fun at them. People who are climate change alarmists have poked fun at them. Some hypocrites out there have poked fun at them, but there is someone out there who's actually defending these women, a fellow multi-millionaire like these women. Now, if you're not so familiar with the Blue Origin mission, it's a mission of a bunch of women who decided to go to outer space, because I'm doing air quotation marks because not a lot of people believe that they actually got to space, and some people are actually even believing that the whole thing is fake in general. And there are key reasons why a lot of people are believing that the whole space flight is fake in one way or another. For instance, I noticed myself personally that on re-entry point, it didn't look like they were re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. The capsule looked like it flew out into the skies and came back down because it doesn't have any re-entry burns. Plus the fact that people are now calling into question how come they were able to open a pressurized capsule from the inside when there has been no other pressurized capsule that came from outer space that has been opened from the inside or opened inwards entirely if it was pressurized enough to actually go to outer space. So there's a lot of things to question regarding this particular mission, but that's not the real issue that people are having issues with. The real thing that people are having issues with is this bunch of women who are trying to compare themselves with historical people who have actually done the work. They're trying to dismiss the work of men and women who have come before them, particularly discrediting the works of men who were responsible for actually making things like this space travel and all other space travel possible. But then they were also discrediting the works of women, trying to act like as if this is a historical thing, like other women haven't done this before, but other women have done it before. Now, like I was saying, there is a particular person who has come out now to try to defend them, and TMZ quickly picked up this story and tried to make a mountain out of a molehill with this particular story, just the same way that these women tried to blow up this particular story and then they faced a ton of backlash. It backfired at them bigly. I'm talking about Gayle King and Katy Perry. It backfired against them bigly because they were out here calling themselves astronauts when clearly all they did was a space tourism thing. So it's not enough for them to call themselves astronauts, because we know that astronauts go through rigorous training, about 3 to 4 years of rigorous training to do space travels and all of that kind of stuff. Plus, many of them, a vast majority of them, are qualified in the STEM field and have skills in the STEM field. When I talk about the STEM field, the science, technological, engineering, and mathematics field. So they have a skill in there, they have some intelligence in there. But this bunch of women, they just went into a rocket ship that looks like a Johnson. And the tip of the Johnson just probably touched the tip of the Earth's atmosphere and came back inside, because I don't think they did actually go into outer space and do a re-entry. But in any case, you guys, what they did was cool. It's just that the aftermath, all the dramatics and stuff like that, is what people are actually criticizing. So Jessica Alba is out here trying to defend them, but trying to defend them in what I would say in the worst possible way, in the most NPC way you can clearly think of. And when I talk about NPC, I mean non-playable characters in video games that just go around doing this whenever you get close to them. Yeah, this is what these Hollywood elites have become. So Jessica Alba blasts off at Trump, not women in space. And this is according to TMZ making this claim. So according to them, they say Jessica Alba's proving she's a girl's girl through and through, clapping back at Blue Origin bashes to say that the hate should be directed at President Donald Trump, not women who made history on this week's new Shepard rocket trip to space. History, indeed. What sort of history? They're not even the first batch of women to go to outer space together. There's other women has done this in 2010. So clearly, you're trying to actually dismiss women who went to space for a actual space mission by putting this story front and center. And I think I also know another reason why they're trying to put this story front and center, and at the same time trying to bash Trump for something he's not responsible for.
Everybody's always blaming me for everything.
Trump can't be controlling people's mind on what they want to put their mind at. But in any case, the reason why they picked this up is because Jessica Alba simply posted the post of somebody else, one of the most disingenuous people on television, and the actress kept it short and sharp on IG story. Just a bold this, slapped above a post from political strategist Ana Navarro-Cárdenas, who said she couldn't see how an 11-minute space flight by Sánchez, Gayle King, Katy Perry, amongst other people, and was affecting anyone's life, and was affecting anyone's lives personally. So essentially, you're trying to say that, yes, we can't poke fun at people who have placed themselves in a position to poke fun at the same time, hold our government accountable. So you're trying to tell me that Americans cannot walk and chew gum at the same time. No, they need to focus on one thing and one thing alone. Not everybody is Trump deranged like this woman, which is what shocks me, because Jessica Alba, as far as I know, has never really been involved in trying to push political rhetorics before. This might be the first time that I'm ever seeing anything political from Jessica Alba, but this was the post right here. I've seen endless criticisms, and this is by Ana Navarro, not Jessica Alba. Let me point that out. I've seen endless criticisms of 5 women doing their space thing. I can't see how it affects our lives. I wish people would show same energy and focus that anger towards fearlessly denouncing Trump's abuses of power, which do affect countless of lives in the US and in the world. Well, Ana Navarro, not everybody is Trump deranged like you are, because this is the only thing you do. I'm even still shocked that there are people calling this woman a political strategist when all she has is Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. That's all she does everywhere she goes. She's a political analyst on The View, so-called political analyst. She's also a panelist on CNN. And speaking of her being a panelist on CNN, watch what she did when she was called out for actually saying that Biden was as sharp as nails before that infamous debate last year and afterwards. And now that, Trump has won the election, and now the truth is being coming out regarding Biden's cognitive acuity. Watch what she says on CNN and see the similarities between what she said on CNN and what she posted here.
And I know that Joe Biden is a friend, but in this excerpt, the part about the pool he went off, this is in the middle of debate prep, went off to the pool and he took a nap. And that was before the biggest debate of this campaign. That's not even the governance of the country. So Joe Biden, maybe he has the best intentions. I'm sure that you believe that. But the right decision, it seems pretty unequivocally, is that he should not have run for re-election.
Look, I was also just texting with Ron Klein, and who vehemently says he was taken out of context. I'll tell you my experience, which is what I can talk about. I've known Joe Biden for over 25 years. Certainly, the Joe Biden today is not the Joe Biden of 5 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 25 years ago. It's not. But also, I will tell you, and I think that comes out also in the book and the excerpt that I read, something clearly happened that day, around those days, that was not the case the day after. I saw Joe Biden 24 hours after that debate here in New York. He was a completely different person. I saw Joe Biden when he came to The View after he dropped out, and he was a completely different person than what we saw at that debate. What happened around those days, I don't know. And can I tell you something? I don't care, because I want to talk about the future and how we fight Donald Trump and how we get rid of Donald Trump.
Oh, so you don't care that you lied to the American people and you're still continuing to lie. Oh, Joe Biden is a different person. So are you trying to tell us that Joe Biden is 2 different people? Because there's also a conspiracy theory that people are saying that there are 2 different Joe Bidens out there. So I don't know. But I feel like this is the type of person that she is. You can see how she pivoted straight to Donald Trump. We need to talk about Donald Trump. No, don't focus on me actually lying to the American people, telling the American people that Joe Biden was as sharp as nails before that particular interview, because you got to ask yourself that particular question, that how is it that Joe Biden was normal a day before or a couple of days before when you met him before the election, and he's normal a couple of days after, and then during the election all of a sudden he's not, okay all the way there, right? I don't know. Make that make sense to me. But this is the kind of woman that Jessica Alba decided to share on an Instagram page, or in actually sense, it could have been Jessica Alba's, Instagram handlers that decided to repost that because she is worth $100 million after all. She's a multimillionaire. She might not be having time for all of this, and she might have some woke people behind her who thought this was a good idea to repost one of the most disingenuous people on cable news networks, thoughts regarding this whole backlash against these women. Like I done said before, these women are receiving backlash because they're trying to push a narrative that just isn't there. In 2010, a batch of 4 women went to outer space. Those were trailblazers. They actually went to outer space, and there was not enough noise made about it, like as if it's it's a giant leap for mankind or whatever, like these women were trying to do. Plus, even recently, there's a woman called Suni Williams who was trapped in outer space for 9 months, who was brought back by Elon Musk. And it seems to me like they are putting this Blue Origin story out there to actually silence that particular story from people focusing on it. Why? Because the person that actually ended up saving those women is now public enemy number 1 when it comes to this progressive, and that happens to be Elon Musk under the charge of Donald Trump. And this woman, Suni Williams, after coming back to the planet, being stuck there in outer space for 9 months, had to thank Donald Trump and Elon Musk for saving her life amongst all the other crew members. Those people actually went to outer space for a real space mission. Plus, she is a woman of color. So I'm surprised that they are not actually praising her as much as they were trying to do. TMZ didn't write an whole op-ed about that story and publicize it, about the things that these people went through in outer space that people should know about. Like, they're focusing on this Blue Origin and saying that this Blue Origin is a historical mission. It's absolutely ridiculous in my own personal opinion, and it's taken away from women who actually went to outer space and did something historical for mankind. Absolutely ridiculous in my own opinion. But you guys let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about Jessica Alba actually trying to tell people that you can't walk and chew gum at the same time. You cannot poke fun at people who put themselves in a position for you to poke fun at, and at the same time, if you disagree with what the government is doing, criticize them. As for Ana Navarro, the woman that she shared her post, like I done said, she's one of the most disingenuous people on the planet. She still claims that she's a Republican, whereas she never votes a Republican. She never speaks in good light of Republicans. She never supports Republican policies. She claims she's a conservative, yet she is for abortion, my body, my choice. She is a supporter of biological men competing in women's sports. She is a supporter of open borders and many other policies that the Democratic Party pushes. She's a Democrat true and true. She's been voting them since 2016, since as far as I've seen her on cable news network, yet she comes out here to call herself a Republican because that's the only reason she will get called to any panel whatsoever, whether on The View or on CNN, because the day she comes out and says that she's a Democrat, she is useless to them all, and she will get kicked out without a bout of an eyelid. Her use or her grift will be done. Hence why she still claims that she's a Republican, and to me that is absolutely disingenuous. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, click that bell for notification, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, peace, and Sayas out. Bye bye.